Welcome to the Seeburger Media Expert Live webcast and a warm welcome to our new webcast series and this first webcast of the year on the topic Digital Glue. My name is Ines Kössler and I'm your organizer of this webcast today. And just brief before we go ahead with the presentation, just let us have a look at the so-called housekeeping items. This webcast will be recorded and we will send you MP4 file and as well a PDF within the next 2 days. And yes, please use the opportunity today to ask questions via the question and answer box, and we will the questions will be answered at the end of the session today. And if you have questions after this webcast, you can enter the Seeburger community. You can register there yourself and you can there discuss with our experts everything regarding this webcast today, everything concerning our products, our solutions. And last but not least, at the end of this webcast, we have a very, very brief survey prepared, and it takes just 5 seconds to answer those 3 questions, so we would be grateful if you answer them. But now, I'm looking forward to our today's speaker, to our CTO, Matthias Wiesenbecker. He has prepared comprehensive information for you on the topic Digital Glue. And I wish you a very interesting webcast and hand over to Matthias.
Okay, hello everybody. Thanks Ines for the introduction. Yeah, I'm Matthias Wiesenbecker. I'm the CTO of Seeburger, and I would like to give you a presentation which we created some weeks ago when we had a customer day here in our headquarters, and it's a pleasure to me to share that information and share that that presentation with a broader audience today. Yeah, so if we talk about Digital Glue, what is the biggest challenge companies see for the next years? So there was a survey on the CeBIT trade show in Germany last year, and I think you could imagine what the answer is. Of course, it is digitalization. So what does digitalization mean, and what is the relation to Seeburger? Digitalization, digital transformation means that everything will change. Digitalization will change the way we work together, that change companies work, that it will produce new kind of products, digital products, etc. So there's a lot of things which change, and digitalization puts some force on companies that they have to change their way how they work together. The networking becomes more important. Networking, the interconnection of companies, the interconnection of persons working together, companies working together, the digitalization of the processes, of the machines, the data, the services, all needs to be made working together, need to be exchange information so that new products can be created, so that new ways, more efficient ways of working together, of co-work can exist. And that means integration is needed. Integration between people, integration between the processes, between the machines, the data sources, the data sinks, between services, everything needs to be connected, and this means everything needs to be integrated. And this integration needs to be done in a very flexible way, in a very quick way, so that a new idea can be transformed into reality in quite a short time by bringing people together, bringing processes, applications, etc., bringing the data which is needed to reach a target together. So that's the question: what does now Seeburger, how is Seeburger involved? Of course, if digital transformation means integration, then Seeburger as a business integration company, of course, is in the middle of that. And so this is our positioning, therefore, that Seeburger with its products and with its services and with its offering, we want to help you with your digitalization, with your digital transformation. Your digital transformation means that all departments, all areas of your company are involved in that. It's not only the sales department or the logistics department doing EDI, integrated supply chain management. It's as well the engineering department which is integrated, which has to find ways to work together, exchanging data, often very massive data, very huge files. It's as well the production, which is the production area, which is involved in that, with their shop floor machine, shop floor processing, producing a lot of data, probably having a big data lake where all this data is kept and now needs to be used and to optimize and to form new ways of working together. And of course, even the administration is involved, especially if it comes to the handling of personal data, of strategic papers on the C-levels. Confidentiality, security becomes a very important topic in that field of digital transformation. So what does Seeburger want to do? Seeburger wants to help you doing your digital transformation. We want to be the, let's say, the engine which helps you driving your digital transformation. We will do that, or what we have to offer is here our Seeburger Business Integration Suite. It is our product, which I will explain more in detail, which can do, let's say, all about integration. On the other side, besides our product, which can be used on-premise, of course, we have our Seeburger Cloud Services operated in computing centers here in Germany, but as well in China and in the US. There we run, of course, our Business Integration Suite, our own software, and operate it in a way that it is offering services to our customers. Services customers can book, can introduce quite quickly because they are running, and you just have to book them, do some configurations, and then they are ready to use. And we are offering, let's say, two kinds of services. Services which you use like your own software, and on the other side we have full services or managed services where you book us for doing for you the whole topic. For example, your whole B2B supply chain integration, so that you do not need to set up to have own resources for such a topic. Besides the technology and of course the service infrastructure, what we offer is industry-specific solutions. That means we are offering software plus content, as we call it, content which is a pre-configuration of the system in the integration field. This means mappings, this means adapter communication, master data, predefined processes, predefined workflows which implement out of the box typical industry processes which are standardized, for example, in the automotive or in the CPG retail industry or other industries. And finally, we have our consulting branch, which is helping you as our customers on the technical side for the implementation of our software, but not only on this part of technical implementation. We help you as well in the phase before, helping you to find out how digital transformation affects you, where integration is needed inside your company, and how this integration needs can be addressed by our Seeburger Business Integration Suite or cloud services and all industry solutions. So this is a short summary of that. If we look a little bit closer at the Business Integration Suite, which is our platform, then we see that there are 4 typical functional areas. One is the B2B integration part. This is where the Seeburger's roots are. Since more than 30 years now, we are in business, starting, or our early start was in the EDI and the automotive industry. Meanwhile, we are serving the B2B all industries globally. Some years ago, we extended our offering by adding MFT, Managed File Transfer, to it. Managed File Transfer, of course, is a transfer, the secure and reliable way to exchange files, huge files going into the 3-digit gigabyte area. So the capabilities of the internet allow us that today, but even if we have quite good quality, service qualities regarding the internet, for example, here in Europe in our region where we are located, or as well in the US, we have areas in the world where internet is still weak, is not so reliable, where connections are interrupted often, and therefore, of course, then you need software which is able to cope even with this, let's say, not so ideal environments. And so by doing automatic retry and resume and managing the file transfers in a way that they are performed even in a not so ideal environment. This is what we address with Managed File Transfer, for example. And then finally, a new topic came up or became important. It is a part of what is called application-to-application integration, or EAI, Enterprise Application Integration. It is the API integration and API management. This has become very important by the introduction or by the upcoming cloud services, which is modern software developed by the cloud service providers in the last years, and which has a new generation of interfaces. So if you book a cloud service, for example, in Salesforce, which is seen as an extension, for example, to your ERP suite, for example, for SAP, then of course you need to interchange data to do an integration between this Salesforce account and the SAP account, because you don't want to carry the data or transmit the data or exchange the data manually by printing out and typing in. And there, this new API-based integration comes into play because Salesforce is offering its integration via such APIs, and therefore this kind of integration then is needed. And this, because this is an upcoming market gaining more and more visibility and importance, we added this set of features to our Business Integration Suite. I already explained the cloud services and the industry expertise. We are not only in our, let's say, root industries like automotive and retail active today. We are as well in FSI, have a strong foothold there, and as well in utilities and some other industries where our solutions are used at many customers, and where we have predefined, out-of-the-box ready solutions for typical requirements of digitalization which we identified in these industries, and where we are providing pre-built solutions. Yes, I already mentioned Seeburger is 30 years now in the market. We had our 30-year celebration last year, and yeah, looking forward to an interesting future driven by this trend of digitalization. Let's have a closer look at the areas of integration, the 3 topics: B2B, MFT, and API integration. B2B integration is typically made of the exchange of business documents which are based on industry standards. There are many of these industry standards, So more or less each industry, each region has their own standards, which is good for us because there's a lot of work to do. And in our business integration suite, we support almost all of these industry standards in one product. It is across companies along the supply chain, and it is, of course, from application to application, with one exception, which is called Web EDI. What Web EDI is especially a way to exchange data with trading partners who have no, let's say, ERP infrastructure like we have it here in our region typically, or which have only small business, so that it does not make sense for them to invest into a direct integration. And so Web EDI, our Web EDI services, our so-called supplier portal, which is available as a service in our cloud, for example, is offering them then a web interface to this kind of business partners to do their B2B transactions, which are then transformed into B2B messages, which are seamlessly integrated into your backend systems. Data translation is a part of this business B2B, and it is a core competency of Seeburger here in that way, in that area. And it's not that we have a quite good working transformation and translation engine. We have a huge library of thousands of so-called partner mappings. That means pre-built mappings transforming guidelines of B2B players into a Seeburger XML meta format or intermediate format, which then can be easily connected to backend systems, because you only need for each message type, order, invoice, dispatch advice, for example, one process mapping to get the integration done, because the hundreds or thousands of partner mappings you need, you can get from us out of the box. If we compare these characteristics to the managed file transfer integration, then we see some major differences. In MFT in general, we are talking about files exchange. We are not talking about standardized documents. They can be anything. And this, of course, requires then special requirements regarding the routing of data and the processing of data. But we have not only, let's say, the automated exchange like it is with the B2B integration. In MFT field, we have a lot of manual interchange of files, or a half manual and half automated interchange. So that means human to human, human to system, system to system. With the introduction of Dropbox, for example, as a internet service, and this transfer of ad hoc transfers become more and more popular. And so, for example, in our MFT offering, we have a platform, the so-called BIS File Exchange Server, which is a part of our business integration suite, which is offering you a private Dropbox, which you can operate yourself, avoiding all the risks which are related to using services like a Dropbox, which, let's say, are designed more or less for consumer purposes and not so much for B2B purposes. I already mentioned the very large files which can be seen in here area, and the handling of that in networks with not ideal situations. In our MFT offering, we have integrated as well the data translation, because we often see that there is a kind of, let's say, application to application integration based on files, but where translation is needed. And then, let's say, the pure MFT, which would only deal about pure file transport, becomes MFT integration by adding this functionality. And so in our portfolio, we have that transformation, that data translation capabilities not only in the B2B field, but as well integrated in the MFT functionality, for example, in our MFT standard solution. Finally, we have the API integration stuff. I already explained where it comes from. It is completely different because it's not file-oriented, it's not document-oriented, it's function style. So it's a more programming interface, and you call functions and you get back a response. And in very many of the scenarios are real-time scenarios where you require a response very fast, within seconds or even milliseconds. And so that means you need an implementation which has guarantees lowest delays, that means lowest latencies. And this is completely different to the typical B2B or MFT integration, which is typically asynchronous and even fast, but fast batch, often scheduler driven. Here we have purely event-driven function calls, which have to be processed, for example, in memory with functionality like caching to guarantee these fast responses. All this is covered by our business integration suite. But in addition to that, let's say, to the pure functionality of the integration, if the number of interfaces, the number of B2B partners, the number of MFT endpoints is increasing and increasing and increasing, driven by the digitalization, because everybody finds his use cases in his business departments, wants to integrate new trading partners, wants to automate a new process, etc. Of course, the topic of managing all these many integrations and many interfaces and many partners involved in that becomes important. Because, on the one hand side, you need to be able to distribute the load, the workload of implementing these integrations to many more people. This cannot longer be, let's say, a topic of a few experts in the company, because they are not able to scale up enough. On the one hand side, and on the other side, of course, you need tooling support to keep the overview, to ensure that if many people implement integrations, that they keep the guidelines, that they stay within the boundaries your policies require. And therefore, we decided to focus in the further development of our business integration suite to put a focus on the community management, on the requirements which are around this managing of the interfaces, managing of the partners, or managing of the communities, of the business integration communities. Of course, B2B communities, let's say this is something which perhaps more or less has been done the other way in the past. We invested here into renewing our community portal. We have now what we call the community management application, which is an application on our newly designed portal infrastructure. It provides functionality to create campaigns, to connect to your trading partners, campaign-driven. So that means you upload the email addresses of your trading partners and you can create a survey. And by doing that, you can get information from your trading partners about their B2B capabilities, helping you to organize how to connect them. This portal offers self-service capabilities, which allows your trading partners to at any time enter change requests or inform you about changes which are needed, or do tests of if they have changes on their side or during the onboarding phase. And of course, it allows you monitoring the onboarding status or the change request status, etc. So that means we added functionality which helps to manage the B2B community. It's quite flexible and can be used in different industries for different use cases. And we are not only offering this as a software package, we are as well offering services, trading partner services, onboarding services, or change management services, where we take over the workload from your team, use our tools which are running in our Seeburger Cloud to bring your trading partners, your suppliers, for example, make them onboarded, onboard them to your application, to your B2B platform, regardless if your B2B platform is running on-premise or in cloud. The same, but with a little bit different, let's say, details, is do we see in the MFT field. In the MFT field, we have partly as well this kind of onboarding where you have external trading partners, but what we are seeing here is as well that in many companies this is more not a campaign-driven process where you invite hundreds of trading partners to connect to you, to digitalize your B2B processes, your supply chain processes, but this is more because it's not standardized, it's not so much standardized, it's more an ad hoc business where people have during their daily business, people in the line of businesses, the business departments, see that they need to transfer data with a marketing agency, with an engineering partner here, so it pops up, so it's more ad hoc, and for that purpose we are having as well investing into web applications which address this field, making or allowing people in the business departments to apply for or even to configure directly their own all the MFT connections which they need. So we have policies in the background, so which ensure that what the people in the business departments are doing is running within the boundaries which you have set, but they can in a self-service way connect their own their trading partners or the other people they work together with in a secure way based, for example, on templates. And finally, of course, if you look at the API communities, then we have the API providers, the people who provide the API, who implement them and then describe them in a catalog and publish it so that the API consumers, maybe inside the company, maybe at trading partners or at engineering partners or so, who consume the APIs in their applications which they develop, so that they then can get all the information they need to do that programmatic integration, that they get notification if APIs have changes, or for example if new versions come out, that they get test functionality, that they get functionality to ask questions in a structured way if they need support, and of course monitoring about the usage for capacity management and all that stuff. This is all then covered by the API communities or API management solution which we are working on. This is shown here in that picture as well. As mentioned, we have enhancements to our B2B gateway. We call it B2B management, or the community management, B2B community management application and services. We have added this MFT management extension to the BIS MFT gateway, MFT solution, and we have enhanced our API gateway functionality. We have since longer time and in use at many customers a web service gateway. We added REST functionality to that, and some other features which are needed in that API integration field. And we implemented a new portal application for the API management as described before. This all extends is above the basement or the foundation of our business integration suite, which is our business integration server, which is the integration broker, the integration engine, and the portal server, as well as mentioned a new built portal server, which offers all the basic functionality like a portal SDK for application, quick application development, and the user management with LDAP integration, and with roles and rights management. And to connect these applications securely to the internet, we have the secure proxy, and for especially our SAP customers, we have extensions which integrate our integration platform, our integration suite, deeply into SAP, offering, for example, functionality inside SAP which allows to do configuration changes on the integration server from an SAP GUI, or to handle to do exception handling if, for example, integration files like IDOC documents cannot be processed because of missing data or wrong data. So then they can work directly inside SAP in the environment they are used to handle this kind of tasks. Yeah. So far regarding our positioning with our business integration suite. So in the field of digitalization, so the question is, of course, is this only Sieberger's opinion, or what does analysts say in that field? So we are in continuous discussion, of course, with several analysts, and we got from them the feedback that digitalization is, of course, a hot topic in all industries. Cloud services are introduced with the need of this new style of API-based integration. Depends, of course, of the industry, how far the cloud acceptance is. Mobile integration is a topic in many companies which as well require the development of new mobile applications. But a mobile application is nothing without data, and the data are in the backend systems, are in the ERP suites, are in the host systems. And to make them available in a mobile, you need to open up your systems, you need to enable, you need to functionality to allow them to allow mobile applications to access this data. And this is then a typical requirement which can be addressed by our business integration suite with the API integration stuff. Business divisions, of course, digitalization gives them, let's say, more power, more freedom to choose their own solution, but as well more responsibility. They have to define this new disruptive or new future business models, create new ideas of digital products or digitally supported products, and that means, of course, they have ideas. They are forced to bring out ideas, and not only ideas, even results. That means ideas which have become reality, and therefore they put a high pressure on the IT to follow them in an agile way, to help them to make their ideas become reality. And that means the requirement, especially to the central ITs, if they don't want to get stuck in just maintaining the old legacy world, then they have to become an active part, and so that they get a perception as enabler for the digital world. And this can be done by proactively investing into an integration platform, by providing an integration platform to the line of businesses, to the business departments, so that they have then integration features available to glue together the different services which they find are needed to create a new digital process or a new digital product. And this is what we then, or how we then can support the IT departments by providing our business integration suite so that they can set it up and offer integration services on their own to their business departments based on that, or of course by booking services from our cloud and handing over them to their business departments for usage, or of course doing both in a hybrid approach. For example, having the processing of data on-premise, the integration server machine on-premise, because the often sensitive data should not leave the company or should not go to the cloud for any reasons, for security reasons. But on the other side, book from our cloud then the community management applications as a service, or even the full services, the trading partner full services or other services we are offering in our cloud for specific topics, in addition to the, say, the main integration features running on-premise, or for these management features on top of the integration services. Yeah, if you look at, for example, at Gartner, what Gartner says about that, so they define the capabilities framework, and they say that each CIO should think about providing to the business departments let's say a set of capabilities, a framework of capabilities which they call the hybrid integration platform. They think that at the moment there is no company which really offers, no vendor out which offers a full comprehensive hybrid integration platform which is covering all needs. It is more like a set of like a checklist of things you have to provide somehow, and to be accepted or to be presented as an enabler for digital business by the business departments. And of course, when we got this, we tried to match our own offering and found that we are not too far away from that idea of a hybrid integration platform. As you can see here, we have many of these fields addressed by our business integration suite. Some topics, of course, we are working on, or which are still open for us. Internet of Things, for example, is a topic which goes strongly or very, very far into the direction of the consumer market, of the end consumer market, which is not our typical field. So we are working or positioning mainly in the business-to-business field. But Internet of Things is very close, for example, to Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is more or less the Internet of Things in the B2B field. And this is, for example, where we are having running some research to find out what's needed there, how integration, besides the typical data file transfer mechanisms which are already in use there, how these integrations can be used here. First projects are there out, often related to API integration. As well, mobile, as explained earlier, is often related to API integration, and this is where we are currently working on to close those gaps. Yeah, so I think I'm close to the end of this presentation. So I hope you were able to get I was able to show you or to present you our capabilities, and to so that you got a picture where we, Seeburger, can help you with your digitalization, how we can be the glue which puts together, which helps putting together, and the different pieces which make then a new digitalized world.
Thank you very much, Matthias, for this very comprehensive presentation. And now we have time for your questions. But I see actually in our question and answer box, we have unfortunately no questions from your side. We have still a few minutes, so in the meantime, I will continue with the preview to our next webcast. I would like to invite you to our webcast next Tuesday on the topic, the new version of 6.5, the Business Integration Suite. As well, we have here our CTO, Matthias, and he will give you a highlighted overview of current and planned Business Integration Suite enhancements. And yes, take the opportunity again to ask your questions and discuss here with our CTO. Yes, still no questions. So I would say, as in the beginning, if you have questions afterwards, go through the community, or you can also contact me or my colleague, De Krüger. And I would like to thank you for joining this webcast today. I wish you a nice day and a good week, and I hope you join one of our next webcasts or the next webcast next week again. Thank you, take care, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.